Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Are you sick of looking at Netflix and you don't know what to watch?
So many movies out there, you don't know which ones are good, which ones were bad.
You curious about what's out there?
I'm Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler.
This is The Best Pictures.
The ones you don't want to miss.
Hit it. Say hello to my little friend.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winners go home and prom queen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it. No sequel for you.
I need to bring mine. Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hey, and I'm Don Tretler. Welcome to the show.
Guess we shouldn't be talking as the show comes on because
Right.
it gets me all distracted, apparently.
We skipped a week, so we
did.
didn't do last week. So
I did watch 3 new movies
oh, excellent.
that I texted you about, that I told you about. I want to discuss them, obviously. Box office, though, still, Mario's still reigning supreme. Third straight weekend, $40.8 million. No signs of slowing down. It's reached $492 million domestically, so it's going to pass $500 million this week. No other big releases this weekend. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret was the only one to top.
Yeah, that got pretty good ratings and everything. People seem to be really enjoying that movie. I have to look into it, I guess, a little more.
It was the only one that cracked the top 5 for new releases. Evil Dead Rise opened second last week at a very good opening and held second this week at a pretty strong 12.1 million, so that's doing pretty well.
It's holding at a 7.1 on IMDb.
So that's
People are
pretty good.
digging it.
There's a re-release of Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
That surprised me, yeah.
I didn't know that was coming at all. That had 5.1 million in to round out top 5. John Wick Chapter 4, 4.9. That's doing strong. We obviously already know that there's going to be more of those to come, even though whatever, even though the movie ends the way it ends. So this week we're going to be talking about movies about music.
Yeah. Not necessarily musicals, because I know that Joey doesn't really like musicals.
I have seen some.
So we're not going to be talking about West Side Story.
No, I've seen West Side Story, though.
The new one?
No, the original.
Yes.
I had to watch in theater class in my junior year of high school. We had to, I saw Oklahoma, Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, Pirates of Penzance. That's what we did every week, was just watch it and then write a review.
Nice. What'd you think? What'd you think of West Side Story?
I liked it better than Oklahoma.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
really like Oklahoma. What's the other one? There's one Michael Douglas was in. Something Line?
Whoa. Chorus Line?
Yes.
Oh.
I saw that, and I recognized Michael Douglas, and it was obviously before he was, big.
Wow, I haven't seen that.
And it wasn't bad. And you know who the star of Pirates of Penzance was Kevin Kline.
Right. I saw him on Broadway in that.
And I had known him from A Fish Called Wanda and stuff like that prior to this, because this was probably 97 or 98. So I'd known him from other movies since this. But it was strange, because I never thought big actors being in musicals. I mean, I grew up, I saw Grease. John Travolta, me growing up, was one of the biggest movie stars at the time, because he had just come back into being big again. Actually, I have Grease on my list. But I have seen a lot of the classic. But
he actually had some top 40 single one. I don't know if I should say a multiple, but I know he had at least one that made the top 40.
We have our radio's messed up at work, so we only get one channel. It's 96.3, so it's oldies, and he's on it once or twice a day.
Oh,
John
wow.
Travolta, he was on it today. They were singing, I think it was "Hopelessly Devoted to You." Was that him and Olivia Newton-John?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on it today, and I was like, oh my god.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put a plug in for my favorite musical, which was one of the old ones. If they didn't show that to you in a musical class, shame on them, because my favorite is "Singing in the Rain."
Oh, I thought you said movie. No, I did see Singing in the Rain.
Oh,
Isn't
good,
that
good.
Grace Kelly and no?
Gene Kelly. It's
Gene Kelly. That's what I mean.
Donald O'Connor. And I'm trying to think of the female lead. Who I should know. Anyway, I think that's the best movie musical. But anyway, we were going to talk about movies about music and stuff, which I thought is kind of relevant because they've been coming out with a lot of musical biopics. That's been kind of a big trend in the last 5 years
absolutely.
or so.
One thing I did want to mention real quick, though, you mentioned Singing in the Rain. There's an actual very, very classic movie scene in like all-time movie history that has a scene from that in it. In A Clockwork Orange. Do you remember that scene?
Oh, right.
He actually based that off watching Gene Kelly in Singing in the Rain. Very violent scene, but, it's very, very famous scene from a pretty good movie. Clockwork Orange, I thought was a really good movie.
Right. I need to see that again, I think.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while. Very dark, but very good movie.
Right.
All right, so I have a list. You have a list, too. Why don't you start off with one of yours?
Well, I was
sure
going to
we've
start
probably
with
seen
Bohemian Rhapsody, which
yeah.
was the first one that came to mind about Queen, Freddie Mercury. What'd you think?
Excellent.
Yeah, it got a 7.9. I thought
Okay,
it
I
was
was
a really
just
good
going to look
movie.
it up. Oh, yeah, I would agree with 7.9.
Rami Malek won Best Actor for that.
Very deserving. I don't think without any question. I mean, he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. I mean, they showed the performance that Freddie Mercury did at the, what was it? What's it actually called? Where all the bands got together for the big event. What was it?
Live Aid.
Live Aid, yeah. They showed his actual performance, and they put Rami Malek's performance right next to it. You can't tell the difference. You really can't tell the difference. Like, if they didn't say Rami Malek was one and Freddie Mercury was the other, you wouldn't have been able to know the difference.
That's
It
cool.
was unbelievable. So, I mean, without question, he definitely deserved to win. And I'd never heard of him. I'd never seen him in anything.
Yeah, I guess he was on a television show.
Yeah, he won an Emmy for something robot or whatever.
Right. I saw him. I
good
found
actor, though.
some other early movie he was in where he basically had kind of like a bit part. But basically, once he made it, they put his name up on, as like one of the featured people. The featured one was the woman who won the Academy Award. I can't remember what the name of this movie is. It was about a group home. And the woman was the one that won for Home. No, not Home. What am I saying?
Room?
Room.
Brie Larson?
Yeah. It was Brie Larson starring, and he was one of the people that worked for her at the group home.
Is that recent?
It was before. It was before
Before he
Bohemian
won?
Rhapsody. Yeah.
Because I watched the Little Things like maybe a month or two ago. And, I mean, Rami Malek's in it, Denzel Washington's out, Jared Leto's in it. Three very good actors,
right.
but it wasn't a very good movie.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Word
good,
on the street was bad.
good acting, but not a good movie at all.
Colin agrees.
Yeah, no, we talked about it before the show, actually.
Right.
Because that's the only other... And I actually had seen him in one thing that I didn't even realize it was him. He was in the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. I didn't even realize it was him.
Oh, wow.
When I went back and looked at his biography on IMDb, I was like, who was he in that? And then I looked at it and I was like, okay, I remember that character. I didn't realize it was him. So that was definitely before he became big time.
Right.
Because now he was just in, wasn't he the bad guy in a recent Bond movie?
Yeah, that's...
Or he was in it. I don't know if he was the actual bad guy.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see it.
I know he's in it.
I guess I didn't see the new Bond movie.
But yeah, so he's kind of made it pretty big, and that was based off of that movie, and it was a really good movie. I didn't know really much about Queen at all.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize how many classic songs they had actually done.
Yeah, they were huge. They were huge when I was younger, and I liked them. I liked them early on, but as they got more and more on the radio, they were huge. I mean, they were really popular at the time. I just never bought any of their stuff. I was never really big into them. As I listened to it, it's fine, but I'm still not running out to go buy Queen.
Yeah, no, me neither. I don't listen to music enough to...
I liked it. They had a song called Killer Queen. When that came out, it was so different than anything else. It was really cool. And then, of course, the song Bohemian Rhapsody was pretty cool. This was about 1975, 76. And then after that, I really wasn't as into... I don't know. No reason. I think he's just had more of like an operatic voice, and it just didn't appeal to me. So, what's on your list? What do you got?
Well, like I said, I watched Walk the Line, so that's why I did this. But I just finished it last night. 7.8. Again, I agree. 7.8. Excellent movie.
Yeah.
I do think Joaquin Phoenix may have been passed over on the Oscar. I thought he was very well deserving.
Who beat
of it.
him out?
I think ultimately it was Philip Seymour Hoffman for Capote.
Yeah, well, I'm a huge Philip Seymour Hoffman fan, so.
But I mean, the front runner initially was Heath Ledger for Brokeback Mountain, and
Yeah.
then Philip Seymour Hoffman kind of overtook him. And
Well, you get to see Brokeback Mountain.
I did.
When I twisted your arm.
Yep.
We both went and watched it as a project. If you're a big fan of this show, you'll remember we did this.
I mean, I watched it. I'm glad I watched it. I won't watch it again, but I'm glad I watched it.
Right.
But I haven't seen Capote, but Philip Seymour Hoffman was one of those actors that he's always good.
I'm going to write that down because I want to see if they've got that at the library because I want to watch it again.
No matter what he's in, he's just good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I want to see if he deserved it.
and that's the thing. He's not really ever the star. But that he is obviously he plays Truman Capote, so he's
Right.
the star of that movie. But I mean, like, you know, we were talking about like 25th Hour. He plays a good supporting role in that. He's Edward Norton's brother, I believe, in that. The Talented Mr. Ripley. He plays a good role in that. You know, he's actually got a pretty decent role in Scent of a Woman. You know, back when he was younger, you know, he plays like a high
Right.
school kid. Very talented actor. But like I said, I haven't seen it, but I mean, Joaquin Phoenix put his heart into that role. I mean, you could tell that he did.
Right,
You know,
right.
and I remember the night that he didn't win. You could tell he was like disappointed. You know, he really thought he was going to
sure.
win.
Well, because he's really great. He's great
He
in
is.
everything he does,
He's
too.
absolutely, yeah. And he finally got his Oscar for Joker, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to come with him. You know.
Could be.
What else you have?
My next one was Rocket Man. They made a movie about Elton John.
You know, Colin and I were talking about that. I haven't seen that. I heard it was good though.
Did you see it? Colin didn't see it either. No, it's supposed to be good. My son saw it. He gave it the thumbs up. He didn't know much about Elton John. I was huge into Elton John in the 70s. And then once he kind of got, I don't know, became like really super top 40, I kind of gave up on him in the 80s. I passed him over. But in the 70s, you know, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and, you know, a lot of that stuff. I loved him.
I mean, I know like Crocodile Rock,
Oh, yeah.
Benny and the Jets. Is that him?
Benny and the Jets.
And like A Candle in the Wind. I
Yep.
mean, I'm sure he's got 100 that I know of that I just don't realize they're Elton John.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, he's like a household. Everybody
Saturday
knows.
Night's All Right for Fighting. That was the first single that I got from him because I just thought that was
I
still think it's a kick-ass
I'm sure
song.
I know the song, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely a household name. Everybody knows who Elton John is.
So I want to see that one.
Taron
7.3.
Taron Egerton, that's
Mm-hmm.
his name, right? He was in the remake of Billionaires Boys Club. I think that's the only thing I've seen him in. But I heard it was pretty good. 7.3. That's definitely worth watching.
Right.
I haven't seen it.
I'll see it soon.
Now, what about That Thing You Do?
That was on my list too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're real good. I just looked it up in preparation for the show and realized it's Tom Hanks directed that.
Yeah, that was his directorial debut. And what did it get?
7 even.
I would say that's, in my opinion, that's a little low.
It was a real good. If I remember that movie, it moved along at a
It
nice
did.
clip.
It was fun. It was
Yeah.
a fun movie. You know, it was a good movie, and it was really, really well acted all throughout the whole cast. And no, it was just a lot of fun, and the music was actually pretty good. You know, I mean, the song "That Thing You Do" was pretty catchy.
Right.
You know, it did a really good job. I remember that came out when I want to say I was in high school, and no, it was really good. Tom Hanks is in it, but he's not the star. You know, the star is the band. You know, all the 4 kids. Basically, it ends up being Tom Everett Scott, Jonathan, I don't know, Shaish or something like that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Liv Tyler. And because, what's his name? The guy I don't like. He ends up leaving. Ethan Embry leaves early to go to the Marines, and then Steve, I can't think of his name. He ends up leaving, runs off with this girl that he meets. And so it ends up pretty much being the 3 of them and Mr. White, Tom Hanks. But it was a good movie. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I think That Thing You Do, the song, was actually nominated for an Oscar for Best Song.
Oh, yeah?
That year, yeah.
That's pretty. It's written by somebody pretty famous.
Is it?
If I remember, I'll be hard pressed to tell you who it was.
Because that did play on the radio for a while. I don't know if it was from, like, I don't know who actually performed it that
Yeah.
it got on the radio, but it wasn't a bad song. It was kind of catchy.
I want to bring up I want to bring up a movie that maybe you haven't seen, and I just remember it being like really great. A movie about music, The Commitments. It was directed by Alan Parker. Doesn't have any name actors in it that I remember. I think it was all like a no-name cast. It's about all these people. They put together a band. I think that the gist of it, if I remember right, is Otis Redding is going to come visit Dublin, and these guys want to be like the opening band for him. So they put together a band and they pull all these, odd, like a Dirty Dozen type of thing. They pull all these oddball people together to form this band for this performance
Right.
and everything. Like I said, it's Alan Parker directed, who also directed
Mississippi Burning, right? Yeah.
He also directed The Wall, Pink Floyd's The Wall, which was the film version of the album. Now, the album, just like Queen, was huge.
Wasn't that one
in
like
the
one
70s.
of the biggest albums ever? Period.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
And they'd released the album, and then probably a year or two later, they released the film out. And some of it's animated, and it's a trip. That's a movie. I probably haven't seen that in quite a while. That gets an 8.0. That's the highest rated movie on my my music list.
That's pretty high.
Was The Wall. Yeah, so Alan Parker did a couple of these. Alan Parker, I thought he died young, and I looked him up, and he died at about, I don't know, 72, 76, something like that. So obviously he wasn't as young as I thought he was. But he made a lot of good movies. He made Angel Heart, Birdie, I'm trying to think what, Angela's Ashes. But yeah, so he had 2 on this list. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that and recommend The Commitments, because I think you'll like it. I think anybody who watches this movie, if you haven't seen it, I remember when it came out, I went to the theater and just was, it was one of these movies I left and just was like, whoa, that was just great, And that gets 7.6 on IMDb. So
high.
a pretty solid film.
So I haven't seen it, and I didn't put it on my list, but Colin mentioned it to me. Have you seen This Is Spinal Tap?
Oh, yeah.
I have not seen that. So
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's
Now,
Christopher Guest.
Rob Reiner directed it, right?
Oh, Rob Reiner. Oh,
Didn't he?
Yeah. Or is he just in the movie?
Oh, I don't know.
I guess we're going to have to look it up, because I thought it was Christopher Guest, who's made a bunch of those type of movies. This Is Spinal Tap. They made one spoofing folk singers, the folk scene called A Mighty Wind.
Okay, yep, I knew that one.
Best in Show.
Yeah, that's the Westminster Dog Kennel.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So he made a bunch of those movies, and they're all great. I thought he did that one too, but I have another one that's kind of along that same line.
Okay.
It's called The Ruddles, and it was a takeoff on the Beatles. It's called The Ruddles, and it was the movie is called All You Need Is Cash. And Eric Idle of Monty Python fame was one of them. He's like the big name actor of the 4, but it's got a whole lot of the Saturday Night Live crew is in that movie, and they wrote music for that too. They wrote spoof songs.
Really?
So of course they have All You Need Is Cash, and I don't know. Anyway, that one got The Ruddles got a 7.3, which surprised me. It's not a high. I'm trying to think what's the way to put it. Quality type of thing, but it's funny. It's fun, and because I was thinking about they're making all these biopics, but there was no biopic about the Beatles. Maybe Beatlemania did it.
I'm looking at this Spinal Tap. I remember Rob Reiner directed it, Christopher Guest wrote it.
Oh, okay.
And they're both in it. But I remember seeing an interview years ago with Rob Reiner, and I guess when did it come out? 1984. I guess when it came out, people thought Spinal Tap was real.
Right.
Like they thought it was a real band, and it wasn't like it was just like a real thing. Like a real director was like, and they're not a real band, because I never heard of it until I saw this interview, and I was like, people really actually bought that it was a real band. Like, how did they not like? How did you not understand? Like, you haven't heard of these guys before, but everybody's like flocking to see it. Because he gets a 7.9. It was obviously very popular.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny. The drummers keep dying, and then I just saw a scene from it recently where they're interviewing a guy in the band, and he's like, "We've done something special. We've taken the amps and we've added a number so we can turn it up to 11." And the guy goes, "Well, couldn't you just leave it at 10 and make it extra loud?" He goes, "I know, but 11's really got a punch to it." So,
it just amazes me how big it was, considering it was a fake band, and people just flocked to it apparently.
And obviously, it got enough popularity that Christopher Guest went on to make all these other spoof movies, which have been great. I mean, I can't think of a bad one. You know, like you say, Best in Show was pretty funny. If people haven't seen that one, A Mighty Wind. I just remember, and just the title cracks me up.
Oh yeah,
You know.
I haven't seen it either, but like I did see Best in Show. I thought it was stupid, but it was funny.
Right.
You know, that's the whole point. I just wanted to mention that because I do remember seeing that interview, and I was just floored that it was a fake band and everybody just bought it. Like they completely bought into it. I know I've seen this. I'm pretty sure you've seen it, but my next one was La Bamba.
Oh yeah.
I really, really like La Bamba. It's a 6.9. I definitely think that's low. I liked it a lot more than that.
Yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips.
And Isai Morales.
Right.
And Joe Pantoliano plays his agent. Really good movie, true story about Richie Valens. Sad, obviously, tragic. He dies at 17. But I mean, just a really, really good movie. I mean,
Right.
and that was, I want to say that was Lou Diamond Phillips. Like,
I think it was his big bust out. I didn't know him before that.
Yeah, I think it was
I think he got into Young Guns after that.
right after. Yeah,
Right, pretty quickly.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it was a really, really good movie. It's sad, obviously, because he does die in a plane crash. Or no, was it? Is a helicopter?
No, I think it was a plane crash.
It was a small plane, right?
I think he
'Cause
died
Buddy
with-
Holly rented it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
With Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper.
Yeah. But a very good movie. I mean, the music's great. I think he did. Did he do the singing?
I think he might have. I'm trying to remember
I
because
don't remember, to be honest with you. I
right
wanna
about
say-
the same time they had a movie about Buddy Holly starring
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. Yeah.
I think it was called. Was it called the Buddy Holly story, or was it the Buddy?
It might
Holly,
have just- yeah, it
or
might
was
have
it
just-
Buddy Holly and the Crickets?
I think it might have been the Buddy Holly story.
I think you're right. I think it came out right around the same time. Which
but
is
he
kinda-
probably didn't do this. One of them did the singing in the movie.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought it was Lou Diamond Phillips, but I might
Yeah.
be mistaken. I actually do want to check out the Buddy Holly story because I forgot all about that. I saw that when I was younger.
I think they were pretty close in time.
I do too. La
Yeah.
Bamba was 1987.
Like I say about the studios, it's like if one's got a project, the other one's got kind of a mirror project.
Oh wow, not even close. That really surprises me. I thought they were too. Buddy Holly story came out in 1978.
Uh huh.
And La Bamba came out in 87.
Oh wow.
I know. I thought they came out at the same time too. The story of life and death of the career of the early rock and roll singer from it's the one with Gary Busey. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely at 7.2.
Guess my memory fails me.
So that gets
Time.
higher than La Bamba. I don't remember that much. I remember that I definitely liked La Bamba better. But I also thought that Gary Busey was really good as Buddy Holly.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're getting close on time, so I wanted to mention some of the movies that are coming up. This weekend, the big opening is
Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
The third one is coming out.
They're
Have you
getting it
seen
for-
them?
I haven't.
You haven't seen
They're
any?
getting it for 3 weeks in BF.
Oh,
Starting this Friday.
good to know. So we shouldn't make our trip out to Springfield.
Yeah, I mean, I have the first two. So
You just haven't seen it.
I can watch them before Friday if you want to go.
It's up to you.
Or we can go Saturday.
See what you think.
Friday's probably going to be swamped. I'd probably rather go Saturday.
I think they're expecting it to be huge because they're going to skip a week. They have no openings the week after, and then they're going to open Fast and the Furious 10 is going to open on the 19th.
Here comes summer.
And then the weekend after that
Yep.
is Little Mermaid.
I was going to say, here comes summer. When you hear Guardians, then you hear Fast and Furious, then Little Mermaid. Yep, it's blockbuster season.
Right.
So we're going to have plenty of good movies to go see. I still haven't seen Fast. I don't think I saw The Fate of the Furious, which I think was 8, and then Fast 9. So I got some catching up to do there, but I got time.
I got a lot of catch. I think I've seen about 3.
Yeah, you're a little behind.
I think I saw Paul Walker's last movie, whatever that one was.
I don't even remember.
I don't think it was the last one. It was probably 2 or 3 back.
Yeah, yeah. You're behind. I know that.
Way
You're more
behind.
behind than I am. Have you seen any with The Rock?
Yeah, I think that one had The Rock in
Okay.
it.
Yeah, you're still
pretty sure.
you're still behind. The Rock hasn't been in one in a while, so. But yeah, we'll get caught up. Yeah, I'll try to watch the Guardians. Yeah, do you want to play it on Saturday night?
Yeah, let's try it.
Because it looks pretty good. Like I've seen the previews a couple times. It definitely looks pretty good.
Yeah, watch the other ones, and maybe I'll try to get a hold of them too once I finish the movies I'm watching now.
I think we have a minute or two left. I did just want to mention the 3 that I did see. I watched Still Alice.
Yeah, which you said was good, but it was very.
It's just hard to watch because of the theme, I mean, the
Right.
woman's life is like kind of falling apart in front of her eyes, and But it was really good. She won Best Actress. Julianne Moore won Best Actress. Alec Baldwin actually plays her husband in that. I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, it's been on my list for a while.
The Perks of Being a Wallflower, I really liked. I liked that a lot. Of the three that I saw, that was my favorite.
I bought that one.
And Passengers. I actually ended up liking Passengers, too. Even though it was very, very predictable, I actually did like it.
I thought it got bad write-ups when it came out. That was the impression I got, so I kind of avoided it. But you've liked it. The reviews, I think it's high on IMDb, too. I got to go see that.
7.0. But we are out of time, so we'll definitely go see The Guardians and have a fresh movie review next week.
Sounds cool.
All right, so I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler, and these are the ones you don't want to miss.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Here's Johnny. Go ahead. Make my day.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.